Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, August 22nd, 2022, and this week we are launching the full version of the Cip Stack Substack podcast, which is just going to be a reading of the each issue as I write them. For those of you who are watching via like a video service via YouTube, I'm still working out like how to address the camera and also how to read off of the manuscript. So I apologize for not making a whole lot of eye contact. I promise I'm working on that piece of it. And for those of you who listen to the recorded voiceover version of each one of these, it's going to be very similar, very much the same. So if you're listening to the recorded version, like the voiceover of my Substack in-app, you're not getting anything different. This is strictly for people who listen just through a podcasting service like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Okay, all that out of the way, I'm excited to be with you here today, and let's get into it. Well, it's Monday. I feel like singing a wrongly worded version of Tom Petty's Christmas time song, well, it's Monday all over again. Yeah, again. And I apologize to the first group of listeners for making them suffer through my singing. I will apologize to you as well for having to suffer through my singing. It's just awful. The readers definitely got the better version of this. They got the easier way to experience. Anyway, I promise I'm not going to sing for the rest of this episode. Morose start of week gripings aside, I hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. It's time to attack a new week, writers, readers, poets, and dreamers. We've got a host of new ideas crashing around in our brains, so let's do something with them. Here we go! Off to Neverland. You'll have to excuse my overuse of long stacks of O's and that strange Peter Pan reference sneaking in. My dog woke me up at 3 a.m. with, let's say, intestinal distress. Segmented sleep may work for some, it is not a good look on me. All right, Article 1. Idea to Manuscript, Part 1. My process for taking an idea from concept to realization. Every writer knows the feeling of having a brilliant idea knocking around in their head. It bounces from one corner of the brain over and over, demanding to be fleshed out. The excitement of having an incredible new story to write is only overridden by a subtle, nagging frustration. How do I turn this into a fully realized vision? It's a common dilemma, or maybe less so dilemma and more of a quandary. Most writers, fiction and nonfiction, can empathize with having that aha moment, followed quickly by thoughts of, but wait. I believe, much like in the movie Arrival, writers all want to see the full circle of their story from the moment they conceive of its idea. Whether it's going, what if at night the roller coaster in a theme park operates as a shuttle to another dimension, or I just realized how my widget can solve a problem people aren't even aware they have. Writers want to know how the story plays out. So this week, let's take a look at how to bring an idea from an initial spark to a fully realized vision. I'll show you my process and take you through the cycle of creation that has helped me get 10 novels, a few novellas, and a bunch of short stories off the ground. A key takeaway here is you might be familiar with many of these, but I'll show you how to put them together in a cohesive flow that makes story writing almost as simple as following a recipe. This process has been developed through experimentation and time, and as always, it is what works for me. If you find that you have methodologies that work better for you, then do those things. But if you're finding you struggle with taking an idea to its point of completion, let's break down some strategies to get you there. You might be familiar with many of these, but I'll show you how to put them together in a cohesive flow that makes story writing almost as simple as following a recipe. Except it'll be your recipe. A recipe for a great story. Tomorrow we'll get started with the first part of this process, but if you want something to work on today, do this with your idea. Start taking notes. Lots of them. Any weird, wonderful, stupid, brilliant, ridiculous, or poignant idea, write that stuff down, and fast. Article 2. Writing exercises, flexing other voices. I thought for the secondary story this week, I would try something a little fun and different with everyone. I want to give you some writing prompts. There is an actual method to the madness here. One thing I've really been working on in my own writing lately is writing in a voice that is not authentically my own. not to stifle my writer's voice. Don't ever stifle your writer's voice. But to give me better range for working with other clients, authors, or on different kinds of projects. For example, I currently provide ghostwriting services to a boudoir photography studio and write some at-scale corporate communications in the travel industry. The voice of these two kinds of writing is obviously going to be entirely different, though I can preserve my own voice in there a little bit. What I want to do with everyone this week is a little bit more creative. I'm going to suggest a style for you to try and write in for the day. Just little things, notes to yourself, 2-sentence stories, etc. But the point will be to flex some different writing muscles than maybe you have in a while and to grow your range. A key takeaway here is it feels like brushing your teeth with your offhand, a little odd and uncomfortable, but creating new sparks in the brain. So today's style is going to be 18th or 19th century voicing to modern mundane tasks. I'll give you an example. This morning I had to search for a plastic bag to clean up after my dog outside my apartment. The note I wrote to describe this activity: I am come to seek out a small sack bereft of holes, that I might remove the leavings of mine hound from the grasses of the estate. Try this a few times. It feels like brushing your teeth with your offhand, a little odd and uncomfortable, but it creates new sparks in the brain. Tomorrow morning, I'll give you 3 of my own that I came up with throughout the day. We'll exercise together. Article 3. How I physically exercise because I freaking love activity. Outside of literature and writing, one of my primary passions in life is exercise. Now, sometimes that passion does wax and wane a little bit, but I wanted to share with you how I stay in shape because I absolutely love physical activity. As the week goes on, we'll work our way up to some gradually more intense activities, but today we'll start simple. I try and do stretching or mobility drills every day. Sometimes this means a quick 10 to 20 minute yoga practice. I recommend the app formerly known as Down Dog, now called just simply yoga. Some days it entails foam rolling to work the knots out, or doing a series of wall stretches to crack the posture issues of desk life. Mobility is a really underrated part of exercise, and if you're looking to get into a new workout routine, I highly recommend just starting here. Just move your body a little bit. Stretch it out with clear purpose and intention, and loosen the joints up a bit for tomorrow's activity. Y'all have been great today. Thanks for stopping by. May your week be one of wonder and excitement, and if it is not, may the efforts you put in bring you closer to those. I'll see you tomorrow.